Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Going to give you guys the second day tournament report from down here at Grand Lake at the Toyota Series tournament. Going to give you guys a full rundown how my day went. And real quick, before we get started, just want to remind you guys, it's been a while since I've given the update. If you guys are interested in any of our Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns, myself, Matt Steffen, Johnny Schultz, got them all up going. Just check it out at the fishthemoment.com website. I'll include the link in the description. We're making lake map breakdowns of all the lakes across the country, all seasons. We do personal map breakdowns. In addition to it, Fish the Moment's got some great stuff with Johnny's videos and everything there. So you can check that out at the link below. Much appreciated. Hey guys, let's give you guys a rundown of the tournament here. Yesterday, I was in about middle of the pack. I had a limit that weighed 11.3, and 40th place, which is the last money check, was like 14.5 pounds, which they caught them really good. So given that, and you know, there were, I think, one or two 20-pound bags. So given that, I felt that, you know, obviously to make a check and to get good points for the championship, I thought the weights were going to double, so I thought it would take 28, 29 pounds to get a check. So I figured I need to catch 17 to 18 pounds to get a check, even though I caught a decent limit yesterday, because I was that far, you know, back from 40th place. So I knew I had to make an adjustment in order to get those kind of fish. Yesterday, the main thing that I was doing, I caught most of my fish yesterday on a shaky head. That was just fishing in and around the spawning areas. And I caught a bunch of fish. I caught a bunch of keepers, but again, they only weighed 11 pounds. And normally I usually catch a couple decent ones doing that. It's not like I'm fishing with small baits. I was throwing the shaky head on that Zoom Slinky, on the sort of the soft plastic stick bait. So it was a pretty bulky bait. It wasn't like a little fish bait. And so going out today, I said, I just could not see myself going out and catching 17 or 18 pounds on a shaky head. So I told myself last night, it's like, Randy, you're going to have to put that shaky head down, man. You're just not, you can't get where you need to be in this tournament throwing a shaky head. Even though I thought going into the tournament, it would produce better fish than what it did. I think a lot of the bigger females moved off and there was just a lot of males shallow. So anyway, how I started the day, if you guys watched the practice video, I caught a 14, 15 pound bag fishing dirty water the last day of practice. So I said, I'm gonna run that and see how that goes. I'm gonna go shallow and, you know, fishing that dirty water, because I had a pretty decent bag. And if I could get a couple good fish, you know, I could maybe get 20 pounds doing that. And in practice, I'd found them I was flipping the Blockit Old School jig, around laydowns. And also I was cranking the Megabass S crank, the 1.5 S crank around rocky banks. So I started out doing that this morning. I went back to those areas and I fished over 2 hours in those areas where I caught the 14 to 15 pound limit the last day of practice. And I lost one fish that felt like a pretty good fish. I had it on about halfway to the boat and it came off. So after the first 2 hours, I ran a lot of the key stuff I thought that I'd get bit on, and I just couldn't get any bites. The wind was starting to come up pretty hard. So I said, okay, I've got to make an adjustment. So I went back. I was fishing the lower end of the lake yesterday, so I felt that would be, if I could figure out how to just catch bigger fish down there. We had a good day for it. It was super windy and cloudy. So I ran down there, and I wanted to roll in a couple of those areas where I got a lot of bites on the shaky head, just to maybe catch one or two to settle down like that, because I'm 2 hours into the day and I still don't have a fish. So I ran a couple areas over there where, you know, I caught them on the shaky head yesterday, and right off the bat I caught a keeper, you know, like a 14.5-inch keeper, and fished around for about another hour. And I told myself, it's like, put that shaky head away. It's like, I don't want to sit here and catch 2-pounders all day. I've got to do something different. So I put everything away. I put the shaky heads away, put everything away, and I pulled out 2 big swim baits. I pulled out a big glide bait that one of my subscribers named Rod Hallman made for me. Just an awesome looking glide bait. It's a big 8-inch glide bait. And then I put him on a Megabass Mag Draft. And I said, I'm going to force myself to throw these. I said, it's windy, it's cloudy, water temperature is perfect for it. It's ideal conditions to catch a big bag on a big swim bait and a glide bait. I said, I just got to put it in my hand. So right off the bat, first place I pulled up to, the first point I pulled up to, I caught a nice one, nice, you know, keeper, a nice Kentucky, the one you saw on the thumbnail on the mag draft. Very first cast with it. It's like, man, this is going to be the deal. And so I started running a few more points. I was just cranking them on main lake and secondary points. About the third point I pulled up to, there was a boat coming out of the back of this pocket, and I made a long cast with the mag draft up on this point, and I reel it about 10 feet, and a good one gets it. And I'm fighting it. I fought it probably 30 or 40 feet back to the boat, and it comes right past the boat and pulls off. It felt like a really good one. Lost that fish. But I still was pretty confident because I still had, you know, over 3 hours left to fish in the day. And, you know, I got one nice one and caught, you know, lost that other one. So started running a little bit, continued, caught my third one. So I got 3 fish in the boat. I got about, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours left to fish. I was still confident I could get 2 more. And what I wanted to do, there was one dock that in practice, it was a long way from where I was fishing, but I saw about a 4-pounder. I saw its tail. It was swimming under this. There was an isolated dock in the back of this cove, and it was. I saw its tail underneath there and part of the fish, and it was about a 4-pounder. So I said, man, I'm going to run over there just to see if I can catch that one. So I run over there, throw in there. First cast she hits on there, and I set the hook too soon. It's just like I wasn't expecting the fish to hit that hard. So I set the hook too soon. I had her on for probably 3 or 4 feet, and she pulled off. That would have been number 4. So we had about another hour left to fish or so, 30, 40 minutes. A long run back to the weigh-in, and it's really blowing. The wind's blowing over 30 miles an hour. And at the end of the day, right at the rock pile, right on this rocky bank, that had a rock pile in front of it, I pulled up there right at the end of the day, threw the mag draft out there, cranked it a couple times. Another one got it, reeled into it 4 or 5 feet, and it came off. So as it turned out, guys, I caught 3 today. Only weighed 3 fish. Absolutely sucked today on the thing. You know, I'm sure the haters are going to love that. I'm going to hear it in the comments. Randy, you suck. You need to get a live scope. You're washed up. Hang it up. You're not keeping up with technology. That's why you don't catch any fish. So, you know, the haters are going to probably love today on there. But anyway, guys, here's the analyzation for the tournament, what I'm going to go away with, and the advice I'll give you guys. When you're put in a position where you have to make a comeback, like I was today, I was 3 pounds out of the money. You have got to make an adjustment, or you're never going to make a comeback. If you don't make adjustments that put yourself in the position to catch big bags, you never will. So yeah, I could have picked up that shaky head and probably caught another, you know, 10 or 12 pounds on it, but I wouldn't have made a check, and I wouldn't have got any points that helped out for the championship. So I feel good about that. You know, I thought I put myself around the position of the right baits and the right fish to make a comeback. You know, I had a couple opportunities that I missed, and it just didn't work out. It was just one of those tournaments that, you know, just did not pan out. And sometimes you just can't overanalyze it too much. Sometimes there's a fine line between success and failure in these tournaments. It's just like those 2 that I lost today, those good ones. You know, if you get both of those fish in, then you're right back in the position where you need to be. So that's one of the frustrating aspects about tournament fishing. That's just part of it. You know, you have good ones and you have bad ones. And this one didn't turn out too good. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all watching the video this week on the Grand Lake tournament. We'll get back to kicking out some regular videos, you know, moving forward. Don't have another tournament till October, so going to be working on getting a lot of good tips out, and hope you guys tune in to check them out. So we'll talk to y'all later. See you.